Hello, it's Steve, and this is our sustainable journey. Today, I just got the phone call that we have a special delivery, and so I'm going to go meet the delivery driver at the end of the driveway so that he doesn't have to drive a semi all the way back in here and possibly get stuck. We've had a lot of rain, so there's a lot of mud in some of the grassy areas, and I just don't want him to try and have to turn around. So we'll head to the end of the driveway, and you can follow along and see what we got. All right. We are back. It is a wood chipper. So we ordered this 3 months ago, 4 months ago, a while ago. It's early. It wasn't supposed to get shipped until the end of September, and it's the middle of August, so pretty cool. So we will need to take the box off. It's on a steel frame, so we'll get that off, and then we'll see what we can see. See, there's bolts around it. Okay, so it is inside of like a metal cage, so we just need to undo. There's 4 bolts holding the sides on, so we'll take those off next. All right, that's one. Whoever did that one put both washers on the same side. Okay, that's 2. Okay. All right, now we can lift off this frame, and then we can, I think we'll be able to back the tractor up and then lift it off of the pallet. Is the idea there, is this is the back half of it. Ready?
Sure.
And more plastic. So we'll take off plastic again. There we go. Oh, that's where it starts. There we go. Be able to take it off now. All right. The instruction tube. Okay, so this will tell us how to do what we just did. And oh man, it's like a Pringles can.
There's more. And there's more. Got it all.
So get you somebody with small arms.
The reason you married me.
And these are the parts that will finish installation. So what we're gonna need to do is the inlet has a whole shroud that goes around it, because obviously you don't want to be 6 inches from where it sucks everything in. So there's a whole shroud that needs to be put on. And then you'll notice the output chute. So everything's going to be shooting out of this. There's going to be, as you can see, we need to build that piece right there, and then this piece right there, and then put the safety reverser handle on there. So that's what all the screws and nuts and bolts and whatnot are. So let's get the rest of this taken apart. So these giant panels are going to be for the chute, or the inlet. Pull that box that way. All right, so to make this easier, I'm going to move it so that I can just hook it up with the PTO, or with the hitch on the back of the tractor, and then I can lift it up so it's easy to work on. All right, it's the next day because we keep getting ridiculous storms here in the Midwest. Even now it's crazy windy. I don't know if you can see how windy it is. You see the trees shaking. So I am going to, so what has to happen in order for the 3-point hitch to work is you need to reverse this. Apparently they ship it this way so that it fits, and so you need to reverse that. And then I'll be able to connect the inlet chute here, and then the outlet up here. So I'm gonna get started on that stuff right now. In case you were wondering what size that nut is, it is 1 3/8 inch, which is probably not a common size if you don't have tractors and giant equipment that require crazy sized wrenches. And I also had to use this 18-inch crescent wrench, or adjustable wrench, to hold the other side of it, because I don't have two 1 3/8 inch size wrenches, because who does? So the next thing you do is you back your tractor up to it and lift it off the pallet, so this metal frame can drop from underneath it. So now it's lifted with the 3-point hitch, and then we pull this pallet out from underneath it. And then we can set it down on the ground. All right, and now we can put on those shrouds. Okay, so you start with the Infeed Chute, which is this piece here, the top of the Infeed Chute, right? So there's the Infeed Chute. And so this is going to be a little tough. So what happens is you've got bolt, washer, nylon washer, nut. So I need to add another nylon washer in there. But I just want to get it up there and get it held into position. So I will tighten this down and then we'll move on to the next piece. Okay, so next is the side chutes. There's two of these. There's giant panels. And these are gonna connect up to the top piece. All right, but you're only gonna put in the top two screws onto the top part of the infeed chute. So what I did, because this top actually flips up, right, the infeed chute, and so to make my life easy, if you build it while it's in the up position, you don't need to hold on to all that weight, because these are really heavy gauge steel, and so if you do it this way, it'll make your life a little bit easier. Now you don't want to tighten them all the way, because there's going to be some fine-tune adjustments later, but that's how you put on the two sides. And so now we will put on the bottom part of the infeed chute. So now we flip it back down into this gangly looking position to put on this bar, which basically is just kind of a rounded edge so that sticks and things like that don't get caught on this this stuff right here. So it creates an edge. So it creates a rounded edge like that around the outside. So then we will bolt this up and then move on to the next piece. So then it'll look something like that. You're gonna skip the top two screws. You see it right there and right there, but all the others get one, and you always screw from the inside out. That way nothing gets trapped or stuck on any of those little nuts. And again, don't tighten them all the way. Next, we're going to put on the control arm, which is this red thing that allows you to move things in and out, easily adjust the infeed. So, like this, it goes through the ones that we didn't put screws in before. There you go. So it looks like that, and then we're gonna put the there's a little piston that's gonna go right there, called the control arm linkage. So it's gonna connect from there to that right there, if you can see it. Okay, now that we have the control arm linkage on, we're going to connect the discharge chute, which is basically the big thing that shoots the chips out of the machine. And where you want them. So it's going to go in this spot here. It's a big heavy piece. So it is this. This weighs a bunch. So I will now get that in place. Once you have the rear infeed chute put together, you can go ahead and then tighten all of the bolts and nuts and whatnot. There's a lot of them. That is the finished product. Now there's one more very important step, which I'll go into briefly here. It comes with a standard size PTO shaft. This is what's going to connect to your tractor, but will most likely need to be cut down to size. So there's instructions. There's videos online. There's a ton of information on how to do this, so I'm not going to go into it here. But you will need to measure it to make sure that the PTO is going to, or the PTO shaft is going to fit properly with your tractor. So I'm going to get this hooked up so that I can measure the PTO shaft and see if I need to cut it down myself. So before you hook the PTO shaft in, you want to make sure that it's the right angle. So there's where the PTO comes out of the tractor, right there, and there's where it connects to the chipper, right? So that angle can't be more than 25 degrees, and if you look, that angle is definitely more than 25 degrees. So one of the cool features of this chipper is you can raise it up. So you can see that right now it's at the lowest setting, but you can actually raise it up, and it's actually really easy to do. You disconnect this right here, I've already loosened it, which is the hydraulic, and what will happen is this will adjust downward. And then you unscrew these while it's connected to the 3-point hitch on your tractor, and then you can just lift it up and screw it back in. Simple. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we've raised it up 1 notch so that you can now see the PTO is more or less a straight shot. So that'll be nice and easy. We've retightened the hydraulic hoses, and now we can fit the PTO shaft. Okay, then you connect your PTO and you're basically good to go. So let me show you some of the features before we get started. So this is a lockout, so if you need to work on the blades themselves, they're inside this chamber right here. You pull this out, you reverse it, and that'll prevent it from spinning while you're working on it, so you don't get cut into pieces like Steve Buscemi. There is this piece, the inlet chute will actually fold up for easy storage. So it weighs 1,000 pounds. It's not really that easy to store. There is a chainsaw holder, so that when you're out in the field, you can bring your chainsaw with you, which is nice and easy. The discharge chute, so it adjusts here. You just loosen this, and then you can angle it up or down, so you can aim it better. And then, just like every submarine movie ever, the discharge chute is like a periscope, so you can adjust it and spin it so that you can shoot your chips wherever you want. There we go, that locks into place. Before you begin, it does not come with hydraulic fluid, so it needs 5 gallons in that tank of hydraulic fluid. Do not forget, otherwise it will not go well for you. Yeah, so it's all hooked up. We'll get the fluid in there. We'll get this thing put somewhere so that I can shoot some chips, and I'll show you how it works. Pasture areas with some brush that we collected from cutting down some trees a couple of weeks ago. I think we cut down 12 or 13 trees. I don't remember the number. So we're gonna chip these guys up, just shoot it off into the woods for now, until we have a better plan, because we'd like to use some of these chips as ground cover for an area for the girls. So we'll do that later, but we'll chip this brush up now, and I'm going to chip up some cardboard because I want to see how well this will work for the worms as well, to give them some cardboard shredding, because I think this thing will be able to take care of all of it. So we'll get going on that. that's enough of that. I'm tired. I made a very tiny pile of wood chips, but these look really good. I also shredded some cardboard or paper just to see what it would look like. But I mean, you can see like these are fantastic. So what we can do is we can let them sit for a little bit, and then we can give them to the worms as bedding, which is perfect. So some good things. This lever, which is neutral, forward, reverse, neutral, super easy to work and operate. And sticks actually bumped into it and popped it into neutral, which is good because if you fall in, I guess, it's really easy to knock it into neutral so that you don't get yourself ground up, which is kind of awesome. The downside so far that I found are brush and branches that look like this. If they're not straight early on, it can't pull them in. It's got an 8-inch, it can handle 8 inches, and so if it's wider than that, it can't do it. And so it'll grind, it'll try and grab them, but you just need to reverse it out and then take your chainsaw and just cut them down a little bit. But beyond that, it handled everything that was in this area. So we got half the pile gone. This was where some of it was, and it became that. So we'll end it there. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff about life here on the farm and with the worms and everything, subscribe. We'd love to have you keep an eye on what we're doing here. All right, we'll see y'all later. Take care. Oh, that's not good. That's a wasp nest. Or parts of it. Oh no. There's more parts of it. That means something got it. I wonder where it was. See? There's parts. There's parts. There's a big part. That means we have something that's not afraid of taking out and eating a wasp nest from a tree. Okay. Great.